Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to our design tutorial week 9, and this is the final theory lesson for this course. We'll be seeing two important topics. So we'll be looking at UX research basic and then design handoff. So after this lesson, we would be doing a couple of practicals. We would finish up our exercises, and then we will do our final design project, so that we will use that as a foundation to build our portfolio, right? So let's continue. We'll be looking at UX research basics, and then we'll now move to seeing design handoff. So a couple of the concept of this, we have to somehow brush or branch into them while dealing with other courses, other topics. While within the previous weeks so far, we have seen the concept of research. I think I've spoken about them, but design handles are probably what I've not touched at all, and then I'll be showing us how we will prepare our designs, as we will prepare our files, and everything will be ready to hand over to let's say a developer. So a developer can pick up from our designs and then develop the project. So let's start with UX research. So UX research, as we can see on our screen, is the process of studying users to understand their behaviors, needs, motivation, and pain points. So that's the reason why you do your research. So it carries both the reason and at the same time the definition for it. So it's just studying to understand users. You get, because you're designing for users, so it means you need to first of all understand the users you are designing for. So you're making research to understand their behaviors, you're making research to understand their needs, because you're trying to provide a solution to them, so you don't provide a wrong solution. Making research to understand their needs and motivations and pain points. So UX research helps designers build products based on evidence and not assumptions. What this means is, let's say you are designing a product, a rental application where users can sign up and then rent properties from your application, become tenants, and so on. Users can also sign up and become landlords and put up their properties up for rent and start collecting rent. You need to understand that you are not just going to sit on your system and then just start designing based on assumption. So first of all, you do your research to understand how tenants operate, what tenants would probably need on the application, and then how also landlords operate, and what features would help the landlord operate better on the application. So if you have all of this data ready, because after your research, you'll be able to build with that, and you won't be building with assumption, you'll be building with evidence. That is what it is. So that's the whole essence of carrying out UX research, right? So why UX research matters? Number one, it saves time and money, preventing wasted features. Just like I explained, So imagine you have a rental application, and then you now introduce a feature that does not just make sense at all for the rental process or in the rental market. I can't even think one top of my head now. But you just introduce a feature that doesn't make sense. You get, maybe you introduce a follow feature. I don't know, a follow feature. Because if you're viewing property listing, I don't know if it's really necessary for you to follow a landlord to only see his listing. Whether you follow the landlord or not, once you go to the home screen or you go to the property listing screen, you would see all properties, irrespective of you following that landlord or not, right? So let's say you now start introducing features like that. You start introducing maybe other funny features that will just be a waste of time and waste of resources. So UX research helps you cut off that. And then number 2, improves usability and customer satisfaction, of course. So your research will help you build a product that can be usable, a product that will be simple, not a product that will be complex. Why? Because the product is designed specifically for those users. Users specifically designed product. You understand? So that product is carved, is, I say, tailor-made, it's customized for them. And then number 3, UX research helps you build empathy for real people using the product. Why? Because at the cost of your design, you understand exactly who the users are or who the users would be. So when you make features, when you make placement of text headings, you want to use a language that will communicate better to them. When you put a button top right or bottom left, there should be justifiable reasons for that. And then number next, US research matters because it increases business success. Users stick with what works, and then this will be very, very difficult to achieve if you have not even done research on that user, right? How do you increase the business success of a business by building their website when you've not even done research on that business or on the target audience, the customers? So this is just a few of the benefits of UX research. Very, very important. Don't just jump the gun. This is very, very key and important. So there are a couple of research methods or research types, and these are categorized into 2. The first is qualitative UX research or qualitative research. So from the term qualitative, this focuses more on quality. So it explores why, it answers the questions of why. Answers the questions of why when you're carrying out this research. And then there are a couple of ways you could carry out researches that falls under qualitative method of research. Then the first is user interviews. When you carry out a user interview, this for most of the time are like a one-on-one interview. So you would get to talk with the user, and you are spending that so much time on that person because you want to really get some answers from that person, and you could not maybe attend to so many people at the same time with user interview. So this is a qualitative method of research. The next is usability testing. So when you have a product and then you put it out there for a few to test, and then you start picking up some feedbacks from them, their facial expression, their questions, if they ask about that product, all of this is just usability testing, and that method of research also, because you pick up those data and then you put it back to work on your product. So that falls under qualitative research method also. And then the next is observations and field study. So all of this is under qualitative. Now, what this method of research does is that it provides deep insights to that product or the whole body of research. It provides deep insight. So imagine you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody. I want to build a social media application or a matchmaking application that matches people together, a male and a female. And then I need to understand what the both users will be expecting. What would a single guy that wants to date, that wants to be matchmake, what will you be expecting to see maybe in the profile of the lady you would want to show your interest to matchmate? So if I have a one-on-one physical conversation with that user, I will get a lot of insight, because it will be like a dialogue, and then I'll be taking notes, and that note is converted to research data. And when I go back to my board, my decks, or my system, I will start using those data to craft out the design. So this method of research just gives you deep insight into what you are looking at. Now, the next kind is quantitative method of UX research. Now, this measures what and how many. So all the forms of or categories of research under this method gives you data, deals with number, gives you data. So you are trying to carry out a research to know average number of people, or it just gives you number. And so that's why you see the types of research or the categories of research under this are like surveys. When you carry out surveys, you're trying to get numeric data on a particular subject, right? You're trying to carry out statistics. So the next category is analytics, heat maps, click data, Google Analytics. I want to be fast so that this tutorial doesn't take long. And then the next is A/B testing. Also, we've talked about a couple of all these guys in our previous lessons, so I don't want to waste much time on them. And then, so just like I said, all of these categories of research that falls under this quantitative method provides numeric data and large sample size. So basically, these are just forms of UX research. It's important that we study even outside this course so that we will get more information. But this is just on a beginner's level, and I don't want to bore us with a lot of other information.